Okay, art historians. We're going to start our discussion of number 43, which is the Augustus of Prima Porta, with a list of accomplishments by Roman emperors. And this is on page 11. So you can take down these notes on page 11 in your packet. So to start with, we have Augustus. He's the first Roman emperor, and we're going to see him in his statue, the Augustus of Prima Porta. We're also he is the creator of a monument called the Pakis, which is the altar of peace. And then he was known as well for the Pontugard aqueduct. Aqueducts were used to bring water into the city, and so use of arches and then channels to be able to bring the water from the mountains into the city became really important to making Roman cities what they were. Nero is our emperor who he builds a colossus of himself, which is a large kind of image of himself, godlike. And no, it's no longer with us. And his great palace we have some ruins of it. But these two things were both largely destroyed by the next emperor, who was Vespasian. And that was so that Vespasian could begin the Colosseum. And so we're going to talk Colosseum as well as some of what comes out of that and why Vespasian might have done that, right? So Nero was a little bit full of himself and all about the emperor, and so built some stuff for himself. But then Vespasian, part of the good emperors who try to do good works for the people. And so he begins the Colosseum. His son Titus finishes the Colosseum and also builds the Arch of Titus, which is an arch that commemorates the sacking of Jerusalem. And so these are two important city works down by the Roman Forum that would have been made for the public. Trajan, who we're going to talk more about, he is known for his Forum, where we're going to see the column of Trajan, as well as his marketplace and two libraries. Unfortunately, not all of it survives. We only have a little bit of it, so I have some imagery. And then he also made the Arch of Trajan as well to commemorate his military conquests. Next, we have Hadrian, the emperor who's responsible for the Pantheon, which is a work that we'll cover. Again, a temple to all the gods is what Pantheon means, but Hadrian's building of it is important to the history of Roman architecture. And then Constantine the First, he builds the Arch of Constantine, as well as the Basilica Noae. Basilica, we're going to talk about today, not today, but within the context of the Forum of Trajan. Those were legal places. So unlike today, where they would be like we think of a church maybe, in Roman times, it was where legal proceedings, where like cases would have been fought in front of lawyers. Okay, so pause if you need to and take those down on page 11, and we'll get into the Augustus of Prima Porta, with all of his looking like a Greek trappings, but then the Roman laid on top of that. So this is Imperial Roman. It was made in the early 1st century CE. So probably within the lifespan of Augustus, but probably when he was older. He comes to power in 27 CE and rules for quite a long time. So this would have been made during that time period. And again, it's made of marble. Once again, when in doubt. Sorry, that should say marble underneath there. And then here's what it probably looked like painted, which I know y'all don't like so much, but you can see the gaudiness of the paint, but that's probably its original intention. So pause if you need to get the ID. All right. I'll put myself over here. Maybe I'm going to delete myself. There you go. All right. So Augustus is nearly 7 feet tall. He is marble. It is freestanding sculpture in the round. So you can add those to your vocab. Again, this is larger than life because he's so big. He's idealized and contrapposto with his arm outstretched. Now we know what these words mean, so it's so fun. And we see bas relief carving on his breastplate. I'll talk in the content a little bit more about what the imagery is for the bas relief on the breastplate. And we definitely see the chain folds in the fabric. Look at that drapery. That is marble and it looks like fabric, right? So chain folds in his Roman style military dress that he's wearing. We see the small figure and the dolphin. There's a dolphin right there at the statue's feet. It is kind of also working like the tree trunk was on the Doryphorus. So it is providing some support for the statue. Probably this would have been a bronze original, which would have been displayed publicly. And so we get to look at the marble copy of it. Okay. This is so we do see military regalia. So his outfit is a military outfit. So perhaps he's addressing his troops. He's shown as strong and powerful, youthful and perfect. Again, this is a reference to the Doryphorus, which connects him to that Greek tradition, and we've already referenced that as well. On the left, we see Cupid riding a dolphin. This is meant to symbolize Augustus's naval victory over Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. So showing his military prowess, especially in naval battles. Cupid is the son of Venus. Venus is the mother of Aeneas. Aeneas is the Trojan hero who leaves Troy at the end of the Trojan War. They've been tricked by the Trojan horse, and he wanders around just like Odysseus, and he ends up in Italy, and his descendants go on to found Rome. So by Augustus putting Cupid on there, and Cupid being the son of Venus, connecting him to Aeneas, right? Augustus is making these allusions to his lineage being an important part of the story. And then the breastplate. What are we looking at here? Well, it's a little hard to see, but we do see a bearded foreigner and a figure representing Rome. The gods surround them with some captives nearby, which the imagery is meant to show that Augustus is supported by the gods. We can see, I think this looks like a Jupiter up here, maybe Athena right here, right? Or sorry, I should say Roman names because we're in Rome now. Minerva and Jupiter. Got that one right. But yeah, probably this Parthian, this bearded guy, is handing over his standard to Augustus, or a Roman figure, the figure representing Rome, showing that they've been conquered by the Romans. And so this is meant to show Augustus's military power as well as being supported and ordained by the gods. Okay, pause and get what you need there. All right. On to the function. Again, Prima Porta is a place in Rome, or sorry, in Italy. I think it's just outside of Rome, and it's where Livia Augustus's wife had a villa. And so this is where it was found. And so it was likely a statue that was meant to decorate her home, but obviously there were probably numerous copies of these made. Augustus is meant to be, he's invoking the power of imagery to communicate his ideology, right? Even though it was made when he was older, it's showing him as being youthful. He's powerful. He's supported by the gods. He's conquered many lands. So this is really him showing his propaganda. All right. So Augustus, in the context of this, comes out of the civil wars following the assassination of Julius Caesar. This is a time of turmoil, and Augustus claims to be reinstating the Senate, right, taking it back to the Roman Republic. But in fact, he's not. He's making a way for himself to be the first emperor of Rome. He is using the statue to show his power, again, made in his later years, and his abilities to create the Pax Romana, which will last for 200 years. Augustus is remembered as one of the best emperors of Rome, and he serves for around 40 years. So a long time where he can build lots of things and do lots of things for the Roman Empire, the growing Roman Empire. Pause to get what you need. And what could you compare to? What else shows imagery of gods ordaining humans? Or, the style of it, of course, the Doryphorus, the victory and the breastplate in the Alexander mosaic. The Stele of Hammurabi, right, where you have Shamash handing over the laws to Hammurabi. Tutankhamun. Pardon me, not Tutankhamun. Who do we got here? Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and 3 daughters who are being ordained by the sun disk god, right? Aten. And then this is kind of like merging of cultures, and we see in Persepolis at the Apadana of Darius and Xerxes. And last but not least, they have a similar idea of, keep bringing all of the Romans together in the same way that Narmer does on the Palate of Narmer, unification of Egypt. So lots of things that we can compare to for Augustus. Get down what you need to. And then I don't have any vocab. Yay. Okay. So that is it for number 43, the Augustus of Prima Porta.